let us purchase 2 first-class tickets, please, to Dubai.
Dubai.
We need to get to the Dubai Film Festival. We've got a short sub-doc about the plight of the Iraqi people who live in Beverly Hills.
Okay, well, I have one flight left out to Dubai.
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter.
All right. Well,
So if you don't want to make that the opening,
you can make that the opening. No, there you go. So this is the opening of our podcast.
welcome to the podcast.
Yeah. So that's obviously this has been the Lost at Will, remain Lost at Will podcast, but it started as a travel podcast, and it will remain where that will be topics of conversation. I'll do ones by myself involving travel, but COVID has made traveling impossible, and I can only talk about camping and bug bites so much. Backpacking trips, all that kind of stuff. It's fun. But you know what? My friend Kyle here, we like to go down rabbit holes. And you know what? I was like, Lost at Will, that works. Because we get lost in topics that are not actually very interesting to most people. We ask questions about things and then peel the onion back to the point where there's no onion left. So we like ripping through the layers of topics that most people find mundane.
Oh, shit. I feel like this is high expectations, buddy.
No, but I'm saying we go down rabbit holes of meaningless. It's kind of like when people go in the rabbit holes of the internet.
Yes.
And you just end up keep going and going and going. And honestly, I feel like you could do that with most topics.
You just got to let the thoughts, just let it roll.
Be open to just trying to discover the meaning of something where there's no meaning, or you realize how much you don't know about something, or how much of an idiot you are about something when you start diving into it. Because if you think you're an expert,
I think it's very important that we both let our idiots
out. No, I completely agree. No, I completely agree, because most things we approach with no expertise in the subject,
complete ignorance.
Yes, but when you only can truly discover that if you start asking yourself questions about the thing. So if I was just the Google man and just regurgitating Google facts, do I know it, or have I just memorized it? You and I will take something we know nothing about and realize, wow, after 20 minutes,
read on Wikipedia is true.
Yes, and after 20 minutes, we really know nothing about it, and that's what I love.
Yeah.
So after all these years, Kyle and I are finally going to just do it. So yeah, that's it. And we've been sitting in this room for 20 minutes in Kyle's studio. I used to do it just on the desk in my room. Now we're in Kyle's music room. We're in the dungeon. It's very nice, actually. There's instruments lying around. Most you can't get to.
Yep.
So I'm not sure how often they're used.
Artifacts from the 90s.
Yeah.
Just different types of ephemera. And
I like it, though. And I do appreciate there is a picture on the windowsill of our fishing trip with our boys.
Yeah, buddy. That's for you, Troy and Lance.
Yeah, good memories. But
hopefully you're one of the 11 people listening to this.
Dude, when we get up to 11, we celebrate, my man. We celebrate up to 11.
Yeah.
But
so go ahead and you wanted to ask me some questions?
Oh, well, I figure people have no idea who you are. The only thing people know about me is that I just talked about travel stuff and I've told stories about myself. So I do, so maybe no questions towards me unless you have one in particular, but I just want to ask a couple questions of you so people know who you are.
Right.
Your name's Kyle.
My name?
Yeah. And your last name, totally uncommon.
Smith.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you just if
people even think I'm fucking lying to them.
Of course.
When I tell them
the
it's
only
Smith.
less common name or more what is it?
John Doe.
John Doe. That's the only other name
I've
you can
never
give.
met one motherfucker with the last name Doe.
You know what? We should look up if there's anyone named John Doe.
Oh, okay.
You should look that up.
I can look shit up.
Yeah, look up if see if there's anyone named John Doe.
All right.
I'm gonna guess that there is, and if that's the case, the parents were fucking with them, for sure. I know when Kyle and I we met in training at AT&T as technicians, and could not have been more different. Just in terms, if you just looked at us, we look very different. We act.
Well, first off, I found out that you can legally name your kid John Doe.
You can.
Yeah,
because
so
there are things in California you can't name your kid something. Like there's certain names that a judge can't stop you. Like Elon Musk, he was stopped from naming his kid whatever. But it wasn't because it was a bad name or a mean name. It was because there wasn't the right.
No pronunciation for it whatsoever.
Yeah, and he wasn't using letters. He was using
made up
symbols.
letters. Yeah,
So
because that's what you do when you're a millionaire.
of course,
You just make up fucking look what Prince did.
what did he do?
Well, it wasn't Prince. It was just, I'm with the female and the male at the same time. Just changed his name to. Well, he's a G because he changed his name to get out of a fucking record contract.
Oh, interesting.
So he had a record contract under the name Prince. So he changed his name to a fucking symbol like a G to get out of a goddamn record contract.
Wow.
So,
Well, yeah. I mean, you talk about having money, the things you could do. I mean, again, I always think about like Jeff Bezos. I mean, I'm not sure many people watch the show. What's it called? The Space Show. I've been trying to get you to watch it.
what the Amazon one?
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, the one that Jeff Bezos bought.
Yeah, I'll have to look it up. But yeah, so that's it was on the Sci-Fi Channel, and it was probably their highest budget show, and they just could not keep it going, maybe because of the budget. And it looked
he
good.
just bought it because he liked that shit.
It was his favorite show.
Yeah.
And he has so much money that he's able to buy the show and keep it running because he has money. Or Elon Musk. He has so much money that his car or his rockets, he's able to design them like from his favorite movie, Spaceballs. So he made the rocket look like the Spaceballs rocket because he wants to.
Well,
Like,
they're just children with lots of money.
Honestly,
just like any of us, if we had lots of money.
you know what? It's not even having lots of money. So for Jamie and me, we're getting married next year, and we want to add touches to our wedding. So I want to pay a little extra money to find a way to make my wedding feel medieval. He's just doing that on an incredibly extreme scale of billions, where I'm doing it of a couple extra $100, to have something about Lord of the Rings directing people to their tables, or having music that would make me feel like I'm from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Little things like that.
Are you doing shit like this?
Yeah, we're doing the string quartet, playing movies for movies.
Are they going to be dressed up like in medieval fucking clothes and shit?
That's a
chainmail
really
and shit?
reasonable request. No, I know they
The
are
fact
not.
is most of your friends already have the clothes.
Yes.
They could let them borrow it.
That is a battle I will not win.
Just ask the string quartet when you're hiring. Be like, the first thing that's important. Be like, what's your pant size and your shirt size?
All right, call me crazy, but like I assume that an 18-year-old. Oh, The Expanse, by the way, is the show on Amazon Prime. That if I was an 18-year-old or 17-year-old boy and I want to get into playing the violin, like what do you trouble? I feel like I'd be into medieval shit. Why am I connecting those two? I don't know, but most the classical composers are from forever ago, so you have to have some toe dipped into the days of old, right? The 1800s, 1700s, 1900s. I know it's not medieval, but if you are practicing it's kind of like if you're a rock star, right? Or if you want to be a rock star.
I am a fucking rock star.
Okay, Kyle, you are a rock star. And what do you look like, Kyle?
I look like goddamn rocks. No,
Yeah, long hair and a beard.
I look like I shop at Ross.
You do shop at Ross.
I do. It's very close.
But you would find someone who you look up to, right? Like a rock star. And at least when I was younger, I loved rock and roll. I wanted to play rock and roll.
No, I look like all the guys. Like I dress like one of the guys in Pantera.
Exactly.
It was the camo fucking cargo shorts with the black band T-shirt. More than likely, the sleeves are cut off.
Yeah, and that's because that was the music you loved and that you were interested in.
Yeah.
So if you are someone who wants to become an expert at the violin or some instrument that's been around for a couple thousand years, and you're like, who is the G? Who is the badass of the violin world? Are you gonna wear a wig, big white wig with a little suit with your funny shoes?
Like you don't have really something that you can draw from that's more modern.
How can you reflect in your appearance? Like if you're into rock and roll, you can very easily go to school dressed in a very particular way, and people will know that guy loves rock and roll.
As a musician, you're not just trying to. If you're just going to mimic something, then you put on the Mozart fucking stupid wig or whatever the fuck, and with the piano and shit.
Yeah.
But as an artist, I mean, is that what you're wanting to portray? Don't you want to just express yourself? Why do you have to be pigeonholed to a period of time?
I mean, I guess you don't, because people still play that. Like if you have a celloist, you're like, I'm gonna be Yo-Yo Ma. But you know what they all wear? When you go, you know what you don't ever see at.
Name another cellist.
I can't. Oh,
the
Bach.
two cellists
Bach.
guys.
And I don't even know if Bach,
whatever.
I don't even know if the cello guys. No, the piano guys.
No, the cello guys. The guys that do the Metallica song.
Yeah, but then are they really the cello guys?
I can't.
Because you have the piano guys, and if whoever came first should sue the other person for
it was a
a
real
lack of
simple
creativity.
Name. It was like 2 cellos or some shit.
I think, yeah. There's also, well, I know the piano guys, they have other instruments in there that are also like that. But yeah, so Bach, I don't know if he was a celloist, but
Sure,
like
touch
his
that
shit
shit.
was all, we shouldn't be talking about things we
Predominantly a cellist. I know nothing about Bach.
No, nothing. I don't know anything. I just know. You know what's funny? It's Bach's Suite Number 1. It's the one that everybody knows if you heard it.
Yeah.
It's I can't play it do it right now, but it's this, everyone knows it. It's been in movies. And I remember I was at an event and my uncle had hired a string quartet to be there, and he had them play, the Game of Thrones theme, which was awesome. And I went up to them, and I couldn't. I was like, "Hey, can you play Bach's Suite Number 7?" And the guy's looking at me like, "I don't even know." He's like, "This will take me months to learn." And I went back to Jamie. I was like, "Dude, this guy doesn't even. That's like the song." I looked it up. I was like 6 suites off. It was Bach's Suite Number 1. And it's a ridiculous
But
request
it's
to
just
make from someone.
impressive when people, because it's like, then I automatically assume you know what 1, 2, and 3.
Yes,
4.
it did.
I assume you know all the way up to 35.
Because I'm sure I gave him like a look like, oh, you don't know my suite that I want to hear.
You're like, oh, sweet, no, that's my favorite.
But I realized I had no idea what I was talking about because I went up and I asked for the wrong one, not knowing that, his Bach suite, whatever, is like an hour long.
You do have an overconfidence about things, Ryan.
I definitely approached it that way. And so he's probably like, oh, God, I don't know. But I was upset. But then I found out 10 minutes later in the car that I had, asked for the wrong request, which he probably still didn't know that one. I don't know.
Which one is it?
It's, I don't know how to do it.
Doesn't know the number.
How am I going to?
What's
It's number
important
1.
is you know it's the first
It's
one.
number 1. Yes. I just asked for a random number, and I don't know what made me think that was going to be the number.
By the way, I found somebody named John Dew.
John Dew. Is it D-O-E and he pronounces it Dew?
I don't know. It's the first thing I clicked on here. So it's an Asian gentleman, a gentleman of Asian descent,
Well, that's no fun.
and he's just saying he doesn't blame his parents for
Well, I'll blame his parents for him.
But
Well, maybe they didn't know. Maybe that's maybe that's an American thing. A John Doe as a person without an identity or a lost or a body that can't be identified. Maybe that's an American thing calling it John
shit.
Doe.
Oh, I think okay. So this is New York Times. This is from the New York fucking Times.
Oh.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I think there was a problem at the hospital.
They thought
it was Alpharetta, Georgia, and I think there's a little bit of a mix-up of some sort.
So he's actually an unidentified baby that is alive called John Doe?
Yeah, if by baby you mean an adult Asian male.
Oh, that's funny.
So I just figured we'd better wrap that thing because people are probably one of the 11 people.
Oh yeah, no,
Might
there's
wanna
about
know.
2 in there who always are calling me
if
asking for
You could just
clarification.
Google it your fucking self, man.
Yeah, no, it's more fun when we do it. That way the podcast sounds less professional by us having to make pauses in between and figure out what we're doing. But, so let me, I'll ask you again some questions. Again, this is Kyle Smith.
My name's Kyle Smith.
See, we talk about John Doe. Who knows where we end up? What are you doing in California?
So I moved here.
Don't need to go crazy long. I just want,
I moved here.
that's enough.
I got in a truck and we put the furniture in the truck and we came here because we didn't want to be where we were at anymore.
Would you ever move back to Florida?
No.
Is it more likely for you to move out of California or back to Florida?
Move out of California
Yeah.
for sure. I'm already thinking about like what the possibilities are.
Yeah.
As far as that goes.
Yeah.
I don't like staying. The idea of just being in a single place for a long period of time is kind of restrictive and terrifying.
I totally get that.
You know
I
what I
totally
mean?
get that. I think
At least to have the ability. It's like if you buy a fucking house, it's like the next 30 years of your life. And be like,
God,
if you make an extra payment once in a while, you can pay it off in 25.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck that.
No, I totally feel what you're saying. Like I bought a condo 5 years ago, and in no way do I feel connected to where we live, and do I intend on staying here. But I get restless. I've always been a restless person.
You are very much that person. I don't see you even when you bought your place,
Mm-hmm.
it was very much like, okay, I'm doing this, and it's gonna make me money, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm a businessman.
Yeah,
bitch.
I know. It was. I can't even imagine buying a house and thinking, oh, I'll be here
Was
for
that
30
one of
years.
the 11 people?
You know what? Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
He's lying.
But I think I get my outlet for restlessness through going on little trips.
No,
Like that's
you get it
where I
out of
get
your
my
system.
escape. And then when I come home, it's almost like I'm just relaxing and I'm chilling, working. And then when I'm not working, I try and find an excuse to leave, because if I couldn't imagine living in a town and never leaving that town.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do that. You know.
No, because the idea for me, it's just like, if you're thinking logically, your train of thought changes all the time.
Oh yeah.
All the fucking time. So the fact that somebody's going to be like, I'm going to think this way in 20 years is crazy.
Oh God, no. I mean, that's
You know, and be like, I'm making this commitment that I'm going to love this for 20 years.
no.
You know?
I again, if I was to,
Or just why even do that to yourself?
well, if I was, I mean, granted, the difference in a person from 5 years old to 15 to 30 is probably more dramatic than from 30 to 45 to 60. I would imagine. So like if I was told at 15, this, whatever your interests are, you're going to tattoo that all over your body, and that's going to be because you love it, right? You love it. You're going to clearly love these things forever. My body would look ridiculous. I'd have nothing but hair metal bands tattooed on my body. I would have obviously medieval shit all over me, which honestly,
It's what you want.
that I still love.
You
I would
want-
keep.
You know what, Ryan? You just look. You got to stop doing it. You're putting yourself in a box, man.
No, I'm
But,
telling you, the box
I'm not
changes.
saying you should get a Motley Crue fucking tattoo on your forehead, or get something train tattooed right above your penis. Maybe your initial.
We know someone.
Yeah. Is that one of the 11?
Yeah.
No, it's
It
not.
is. It is.
Is it really?
It is. Absolutely.
Force it. You sit down and listen to this podcast.
No, I was just saying, like, yeah, the idea of, and this isn't being anti-committal, by the way, because I've thought about this with myself. I'm like, am I afraid of committing to things? I'm like, I don't think I am. I just recognize that I get bored with things very easily.
The fact is, if you can notice there's a difference, then there is.
There is, because I'm committed to my friendships and my relationships, and that's a commitment, and it's work. To truly maintain friendships and relationships, it's a lot of work that I'm happy to put in. It's not like
What if your wife killed a baby? Your future wife. What? Oh, this is after you married her in this hypothetical situation. So this is 2 years into your relationship. You don't have kids, but she happened to kill a baby maliciously.
like grabbed it and
Killed the baby. She
a
just didn't
stranger's baby. I'd rather have it be a
Stranger's
stranger's
baby.
baby than a family baby.
Then do you think you'd break that commitment?
You know what?
Circumstantial?
I don't like to get my decision to be emotional, even though that's a very reasonable time to get emotional about something that's happened.
So if you're kind of already going down like a bad trajectory with her, and then she killed a baby,
I
you'd
think
be
it's
like,
a reasonable
okay.
excuse to have it now. But no, that's less fun. What if it was a perfect relationship and she was perfect to me?
So perfect relationship
And she just straight up did violent murder to a baby
in front of you.
In front of me. I think I would.
It doesn't have to be in front of you.
I think we
You
could
just heard about
probably get past it if I knew that she had a good reason. I'm a very logical, pragmatic person. So if she said that baby did something really bad,
And she's gonna say something.
I know, but it's gonna have to be really believable because it's a baby.
She's just
So
like,
she
"Look
can't
at
say
that
that the
baby,
baby
it's
walked
pissing
over.
me off."
Yeah, it can't be like the baby gave her a funny look. It'd have to be like that baby pushed its slightly younger baby off a hill and killed that baby. And then I'd be like, okay, so sort of like the twin that was born a minute earlier, she killed it. That I could see. I've thought about this. Jamie's brought this up to me about like if my friend committed murder or like, sexually molested a child. Obviously with murder, I think it would have to be psychotic. And then in which case I'm like, that's not the person I knew. That's not my friend. That's a crazy person who's dressed up as a friend of mine or has snapped. because there's no way a friend of mine who I've known for 10 years could hide themselves that well. I feel like I'm a little more perceptive than that. You know, when you hear about the neighbor to the shooter, like, I had no idea. I just didn't understand. They were such a nice person. It's like you didn't know him then. You just didn't know him.
Because those people don't let that side of them be seen. Usually these people are very manipulative, very smart, very charming.
Maybe I'm giving myself too credit that I could recognize little things. Because I do know people who who I'm currently connected with, not close friends, but just, people I'm connected with who I think about. I'm like, I could see them. I could see it. I could see it in them to commit a horrible crime. And I would not be completely shocked.
But the thing is, I think that where that thought's coming from it comes from nowhere, really. Because, the fact is we could sit there and try to think we know that, Jeff's going to fucking touch babies and shit. But we come to these conclusions for stupid reasons.
No, it's true.
The reason we come to these conclusions is because that one fucking time, Jeff was a dick to you. Or the one time, like, Jeff just liked a kid and you don't like kids at all. And
you're like, oh, they make bad choices, clearly.
Yeah, because you don't understand that because you have total disdain for children. I'm not saying you do. But maybe you do. But
I'll know when I have one. Honestly, that's going to be a telling situation. No, but no, I totally hear what you're saying. So I guess it's possible that a friend of mine. You know what's funny? We have one particular friend who would be almost like if you're watching a movie.
Is it one of the 11?
Yes, it's one of the 11. If we're watching a movie and it's a crime movie, you know how they'll typically kind of highlight a certain character where you're like, clearly that's the murderer. Clearly,
yeah.
All the signs, a little reclusive, just little things, a little sassy, You're like, that is clearly the killer. And so the whole time, you're like, this is too predictable. This movie's predictable.
Yeah.
And then at the end, you're like, oh, my God, it was
it's the fucking dude. It was the old lady that was really nice to you.
Who was always thoughtful and accommodating.
It was the one you were helping across the street.
Yes. I imagine that's what it'd be like because movies are real and shows are real. Honestly, in reality, it's probably the person that we think. It'd be the person with all the telltale signs because I think we're giving right now in this conversation the potential criminal too much credit that they're a mastermind of manipulation.
I'm talking about say the exceptional ones.
Oh, like the ones they make documentaries about.
Like Ed Gein and Gacy. Yeah.
But then again, is Gacy the clown?
Yeah, Gacy's
was that
the clown.
surprising?
Not Ed Gein. He's the one that wore people's skin.
Gacy was the clown.
That was a Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Loosely based.
Gacy, just the fact that he was a clown who hung out with kids, that was predictable.
But who's the charming one that killed all the women?
Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
He knew what was up.
Mm-hmm.
That's a dude who I'd probably be friends with. I don't know. He was spending too much of his weekends by himself at music events. Like any one of my friends who's going to big group events by themselves regularly, that's suspicious. That to me it means I am guessing he had no friends, because a friend would be like, "Really, you're always busy by yourself, and you're 15 years older than all the places you're going to." Suspicious.
But you're assuming the relationship is as close as the relationship that you have with your friends. So
that's a good point.
This person, is keeping people where he wants them. So as long as he can, there's people at work. You see them all the time. You don't know what the hell they do. I talk to people at work almost every single day, but when they go home, I don't know anything.
That's a good point. Or just, I do have friends who I don't see super regularly, where I see once a month. Yeah. That's a lot of time to be touching babies and skinning people alive.
I'm not saying, most people, the signs are there. And you should, and honestly, you could take this as a moment to educate people.
Yeah, if you have a friend who you are particularly nervous of, you're like, would I let them watch my kid? Or let's say not watch your kid. Would I trust them?
I think we should have some type of point scale. So first should just be does the person look generally creepy?
Yeah.
Okay, and 1 to 10, 1 to 5.
1 to 5. I think we could do 1 to 10. You want to turn your volume up?
Yeah.
On yours.
On mine?
On yours. Yeah, this is our first podcast, people. So go ahead, talk out.
Okay, it's good.
You'll see it in.
It's good. See the little light going.
Okay, we're good. I think it should be 10 because it needs to be 10 because the jump from 4 to 5. I mean, that's
So-
like that. You need more variation.
So we've got generally creepy, and then just like interest in children in general.
All right. Well, I think creepy is one scale, but then the potential for violence is another scale. So I have.
But most of these motherfuckers, man, like the people we're talking about, they put the front on. They know how to put the front on, man. The smoke screen is like, man, I'm just a happy guy.
That's true.
I love the kids. You know, Michael Jackson, which everybody, I mean, is still in fucking denial. And I fucking love Michael. I don't fucking give a shit.
I can detach. I have a great. Or I don't have a great anything. I have the ability to separate.
You can say it. You know what? You don't need to.
I'm
beat
just,
yourself down.
No, I'm just. I don't. I'm just saying this is probably something that most people can do, which is, separate the artist from the person, because I've come to discover that. Well, first off, you make anyone, a multimillionaire.
Ryan really, 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 really likes the song "I Believe I Can Fly."
That's a great song.
It is.
No, but I really find that there's a lot of my favorite actors, not so much musicians, because maybe just I don't notice about as much stuff about them coming out about weird shit. I just assume they're all kind of crazy and they party. Yeah. But it's specifically actors. Kyle's blow-torching his bong right now. I have bourbon, he has bong weed. Where I'll discover that I'm like, oh, they're kind of crazy. But at the same time, if I really sat back and was told to guess, do you think that this multimillionaire whose world is at his fingertips and everyone tells him yes, you think that maybe he's not the same as you? Yes, that's exactly what the case is. So, we're Mel Gibson. Love Mel Gibson. Love the shit out of him. Every movie he's in, he's my guy. I wanted to look like and dress like him when I was a kid. I watched Braveheart every day after school until Lord of the Rings came out, and then I watched that every day.
Yeah.
But
the whole
you're
gonna get raped by a pack.
He tends to just yell anti-Semitic thing when he's drunk. Okay, or
just
Tom
anti-Semitic,
Cruise. Sexist, anti-Semitic. I don't ever heard racist. I guess you can call anti-Semitic racist.
Yeah, but
the same thing.
I said the whole you're gonna get raped by a pack.
Oh, did he
comment?
Oh, was that to the
tape room when his girlfriend fucking taped it?
Oh, I didn't hear that one.
Okay,
so he said when he's drunk, he's not a very pleasant person.
But this was a private conversation, and but
I guess if you're looking for the
Mel Gibson, I mean, just like most of these like rich, deluded people,
yeah,
they're a little crazy.
I recognize that they don't know.
And surprise, Mel Gibson. I mean, what is he? A 60-year-old white dude? Or no? He's from Australia.
No, he's
what is he?
He's just American.
Mel Gibson?
Yeah,
no, he's Australian.
No, you're thinking of Hugh Jackman.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you absolutely are.
This is ridiculous. Let me prove you wrong. Let me prove.
It's like when I told Jamie about Lady Gaga that who she loves, which a lot of people love because we all saw what's the movie?
The Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Yeah, that movie.
It's Star
is Born.
Star's Born.
Which humanized the shit out of her, right? So she immediately became like, oh, she's a normal girl who hit stardom. It's like, yeah, she was 15 years ago, and now she's been living as a diva for 10 years. About like her assistant who was suing her because she makes her assistant sleep in bed with her, so that if she wants to change the channel, she tells her assistant so she can change the channel.
You are right, but so it says born in New York. But it says American-born Australian actor. Okay.
You know what that means? It means like his grandpa was born in Australia, which means his grandpa's dad or grandpa was from England. So he's just 4 generations removed from England. Like how many generations in Australia until you get...
okay, here we go. Born and raised. Born and raised is what you want.
New York. Yes. Okay. You don't call me Irish because I have Irish ancestry. You call me... I guess if we're looking for his heritage, but like Hugh Jackman's Australian because he's got an Australian accent. Mel Gibson's just American because he has no accent. He does not have a New York accent, so he must have moved there.
Do I think that because fucking Mad Max, is that an Australian movie?
Yeah. Really?
Right?
He did 1 movie in his entire career with an Australian accent.
But that's all it takes.
And that's
so that
was probably the first Mel Gibson movie you saw,
This
honestly.
proves the point we're trying to prove earlier is that all of our, notions and ideas are just constructed on complete bullshit. The reason I think Mel Gibson is Australian is because of the
Mad
one
Max.
movie.
I'm telling you, I bet you that's the first movie of his you saw, and that is cemented his identity to you forever.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
Yeah, isn't that most people though?
Maybe. I don't know.
You know, aren't you
I
like
can't
that
think
with
of another.
certain-
I can't. I probably, but I can't think of another example.
Because
like-
you get, you don't care to know.
Honestly, to me though, that wouldn't be crazy because you think of Chris Hemsworth or you think of Hugh Jackman. You know, every movie they're in, the only movie Hugh Jackman did that big movie that made it to the States that he did an Australian accent. The movie called Australia. It had to literally be called Australia for him to be able to use his natural accent. And then all these other movies he's in, where he's a detective or just a dad,
Yeah.
he can't be the Australian dad.
No.
He just has to be American. Do they? I'm telling you right now, it's because
They
the
probably
studios.
they probably had focus groups.
Yes.
And people are just like
Didn't
people
respond
don't
as well.
respond. Like honestly, I like Australian villains.
Yeah,
Love
but
Australian.
I guarantee
villains.
you, people
Yeah.
respond well to a British accent because I feel like, I mean,
Pompous
that's all over the place.
Fuckers.
But you know what doesn't make any sense? If the new Star Wars trilogy, right? So you had plenty of people playing British people playing the characters.
John Boyega, and
Daisy Ridley, right?
Daisy Ridley.
You know, she had a British accent.
Mhm.
Is John Boyega the black guy?
Yeah.
Okay, but he did an American accent. So
Did
they
he?
clearly already, yes, for the whole movie. 3 movies. So they'd already accepted in this universe that a British accent is normal, right? Daisy Ridley,
Yeah.
British accent. And there's a couple other characters.
But they
But for some
just
reason, for
decided to
him, they
change
made
it.
him do an American accent. Why?
because somebody said that was more lucrative, and we can make more
they
money.
thought, yeah. Maybe they thought people aren't as used to seeing a black person with a British accent.
Or maybe they
something.
originally started filming the movie like that, and they'd be like, "Get over here," and we're like,
That's too much.
like, "Shut the fuck up!"
You know what?
bitch."
That was another focus group.
Maybe
Americans.
that's why you see all the stuff, like the scandal going on about that stuff. Is something not happening to your liking?
No, I'm just watching we're looking at the screen where the ticker goes up, and I realize how much it spikes when I talk.
No, see, on the bottom part right there, it goes.
Oh, see, that's why I know nothing about editing, and
It's not an editing.
we're not. We're pre-edit. We're zero edit.
We're recording.
Oh my god. No, but all right. Last part on this.
That's IT department shit.
Yeah. All right. Last part on the British accent thing. What's his name? He's supposed to be the new James Bond. He's a black dude. He was the sexiest man of the year last year, 2 years ago.
Oh, fucking Michael B. Jordan?
No, I don't like Michael B. Jordan. He was in the last he was in the last.
Ludacris.
No,
Was he in Fast and Furious?
no, he was in the. Oh my god,
Idris Elba.
Idris Elba. I'm trying to think back to his movies. I'm like, so he can always do a British accent. He's British, but I'm trying to think
People like this is so easy. It's just because it's more palatable to people. Because people like black people with British accents because they feel like it's a little less threatening.
except for the dude from Star Wars.
Except for the dude from Star Wars, and I don't know why. I don't know
Maybe
why.
they didn't want to pair two British speaking people. But then I'm like, just hire an American black person at that point.
It's very much that. I think that's why. They were like, this is way too fucking British.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it. But anyway, so I have
But
another-
they're making gabajillions of dollars.
I don't know, man. So we just went to Disneyland. Speaking of bajillions
Did you go to
of dollars. We did not go to Avengers Land, which had opened 5 days prior because it was a 2-hour wait to get into that side of the park.
I'm sure.
Where you couldn't even ride the main ride because that required a digital queuing system to get on. And so,
there's something I've been wanting to talk about, Ryan. Can we talk about it?
sure.
Okay. So, Disney people. What is up with the Disney people? And I feel like you're a little bit of a Disney person yourself because you just
Am
talked
I?
about going to Disney. So, I mean, you know what I'm talking about when I say Disney people.
Yes, okay. Let me tell you something about Disney people. All right, it's not. I am not a Disney person. I'm not a Disney person. I enjoy Disney, but just as if I
How many
was
Disney
to,
people in the 11?
two, maybe 3. No, but if you date a Disney person, it is
Yeah.
equivalent to marrying a Jewish person or like a Catholic back in the day. You have to convert, or there's no relationship here. So I enjoy it, like the Jewish faith shows a lot of nice parts to it. Yeah. Being a Disney Now follower, there's some good parts to it, but they've also been dropping some huge heaping turds on the silver screen the last decade. Turds, other than Marvel, turds. And anyways, so Disneyland is great. They charge you up the ass. It's $160 a person. And it's great. And but I have some Disney people in my life who if it was anything other than Disney would probably be an unhealthy relationship to a thing that's not a person. I'll say that. Yeah.
Like a
unhealthy connection.
Like a crack addict or something.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But, people want to spend their money on that. That's fine with me. People want to spend their money on crack. I don't care either. Look, steal my stuff.
Look, right here I have a pile of cards. And some of these pieces of cardboard I've spent like over $20 for.
Magic cards, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. If you don't know what that is, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah. But all right, so let me real quick Disney. So we're talking about Star Wars, and we got to go on the new ride. So there was the Edge of the Galaxy, which you drive or you fly the Millennium Falcon. It's not a good ride. Okay, I'll just start off with that. First off, the $2.5 billion is what Disney spent. Just Disneyland, not Disney World, Disneyland on the Star Wars park.
Yeah.
There's six seats inside the ride. There's the two pilots. There's the two gunners, which it's not a video game shooting at planes. You literally just press a button.
Yeah.
And it just automatically shoots. You just press a button. And then there's the engineers who just shoot a grappling hook, which is also automatic. So the only two people actively engaged in the ride and with any actual view of the ride, the screen proper are the drivers. So I've now gone with multiple groups. I always let them be the drivers. Next time I'm going to be the driver. But then we went to the other new ride, something Resistance, Rise of the Resistance. It's awesome. It's so cool. You would shit yourself. You love it so much. Yeah. It was. I
love that type of shit.
It's the ride from the point where you get into the shuttle, where the immersion begins. It's like 6 minutes. You're in there. You're going through the process, and then it brings you down, and then it's probably the only place in the entire park where people who work for Disney get to act not nice. Everyone at these parks are weirdly nice, like Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A, what is the thing when they say? What do they go?
Wait, when they greet
have
you?
A blessed. What the fuck do they say to
Probably
you?
have a blessed day.
No, remember, it's my pleasure. That's all it was.
Oh, my pleasure.
They say every one of them says my pleasure.
No group of people has ever felt more pleasured in their life than Chick-fil-A employees. Yeah. But at Disneyland, it's the same thing, except for in that ride.
You know what? I got to bring this up. So I did a job the other day. And I will not tell you what I do for a living. You don't want to know. But I did a job, and it was in the customer. He was wearing a Chick-fil-A hat, and he was cussing.
That's not right.
Yeah. That kind of threw me off a little bit.
Yeah. Did you ask him any questions? Did you get to the bottom of it?
Why are you cussing?
That's like someone...
That's like Mickey Mouse going... Fuck you!
Or that's like someone like masturbating with the cross. That's not natural.
Whoa.
Yeah,
like Exorcist.
Yeah, like The Exorcist. Yeah. That was a little too much.
That was too much.
I'm saying it doesn't work.
Yeah, it
just doesn't mesh. But
how many of the 11 wouldn't appreciate what you just said?
2. The other 9 would think that's funny. And I wasn't trying to be funny. I'm just trying to create a connection to the story.
Play to the base, baby.
Yeah. Okay, so I did want to ask you a question.
Also, I wanted to add this, too, just to kind of tie it in with a previous conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking about the different levels and the grade of, like, the creepiness and people that, so you can protect your children at home.
Yes.
And make sure they're not going to get murdered or motherfucking touched and shit.
Yeah.
Right? So I think a Disney person, should be one of the things on the list. Maybe not number 3 on the list, but...
Wait, are you saying that being a Disney person puts you at a certain thing, or that's a measurement.
I
How
feel
creepy
like
are they?
it
Oh, they're
should-
Disney creepy.
I feel like it should at least be involved in the measurement of it, because I think it just, you know, if you're really a Disney person, but people know you're a Disney person, but you're like disappearing for fucking, you know,
yeah.
long periods of time.
I will say there is a very particular aesthetic to the Disney freak.
Mm-hmm. And it's
know?
very close to the same aesthetic that one would find in, you know, some of the bad
Like
people
a
we're
youth
talking
camp
about.
leader who you look at, you're like, what are you doing here? It doesn't work
Yeah, what
out.
are you doing here, man?
Yeah, it's like
don't you hate?
for a living
Yeah,
you want to do this?
yeah, and we're all the kids are awful to him,
yeah.
and they.
But
just,
they're doing it because of the payoff that they think's coming, and that's disgusting. Yeah.
that is the bad stuff we're talking about.
Yeah.
And how you shouldn't let that stuff happen.
No, keep an eye out for your kids. Beware the Disney person and the camp counselor who's too old and been doing it for too long.
Yeah.
So they're looking for a payoff.
Yeah.
No one likes kids that much.
Yeah, you gotta vet those camp counselors. Man.
Oh God. Okay. All right. I wanted to ask you a question. I just thought of this on the way over here because again, I just want people to have a better idea who you are. But it was kill, fuck, marry.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to know what version of you throughout your life you would want to kill, fuck, and marry. Version of you. From now back to infancy, which probably didn't know yourself too well at 2.
I think I'd marry myself.
The
right
current
now.
you?
Yeah. Present day self I would marry. That's easy. That's easy. And see, it's hard because if I say fuck, I mean, I'm a better fuck now than I think I was then too. So that
No, but you can bring your current experience to your more
so
youthful body.
present Mary 5 minutes ago. No, wait.
No.
When was I horny? A couple weeks ago when I was really fucking horny. So, and then kill, fuck, kill.
That's the one right there. I think that by far is the most interesting
It's very
part of it.
counterintuitive, right?
No, but don't worry. It'll just create a separate timeline. We'll play with the goofy ass
multiverse.
edge of or end of days
Okay, so in the
storyline
multiverse,
from Marvel.
the dickhead version of myself.
Yeah, basically, what's the worst version of you? What year?
No, I take that back. I would fuck myself when I was 16. So I got laid when I was 16 because I didn't get laid till.
That's good.
Yeah. So I wouldn't have been a virgin, which is a large hurdle. So, you know, that was like a big fucking, you know. Anyways, I'm going to talk about it.
What, you didn't have sex till you were older?
I was 18.
Yeah.
I was
No,
18.
about the same for me.
I was 18.
Yeah. I remember real quick.
But there was just so much pressure behind it.
Of course. But I wasn't getting pressure from my friends because
So
I had a
I would
very
fuck-
nerdy group of friends.
I would fuck that. I would fuck him, not that.
So that's a selfless move.
Fuck that young
to
man.
bone your 16-year-old self for your 16-year-old self,
Yeah.
not for your current self.
Because that's the
Very
kind of fucking
thoughtful.
person I am.
Yeah.
And you wanted to get
You're
to know me?
better than I thought. Yeah, there you go, people. He's selfless. But you're selfless to your current self and selfish to your younger self. I like that.
Yeah.
And who would you kill?
And if I had to kill, I think it would be the one. I think when I first moved to California.
Just that version of you?
Yeah.
Is it like as you were getting here, was the transitional self from the Florida to the California self all about the same, or did it get worse when you got here?
I did not like it here at first, but I think that's pretty normal.
I'm
know?
sure.
Because I'm leaving, you know,
Of course,
family
everyone you know,
and everything. Yeah, friends. So yeah, you grow up in a fucking area.
Yeah.
And then you move somewhere else, and it sucks. So I was just, you know, talking to people a lot and shit like that. You know, getting fucked up a lot, drinking a lot. You know. So yeah. But I think that kind of got me on a bad trajectory.
Almost like landed here on the wrong foot of.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, we ran out of money in Nevada.
God, that's rough. That's
We
not
ran
that
out of
close.
money in
That's pretty
Nevada.
close, but it ain't that close.
We ran out of money, and then we had to have my wife's mom give us money to get us the rest of the way to go live with her. Go live with her for
Not
a
ideal.
year.
Not ideal.
Yeah, so we lived with her for a year and then we moved.
Are you? Would you rather move back to Florida or live with parents again? I know that's sort of the same thing, but let's say
Totally
you
the same thing.
Just say you just move your parents to anywhere.
I would, if I can move anywhere. I mean, yeah, I'd move with my parents.
Live with your parents.
I mean, I've already factored that in. It's like if they're getting old and shit. I mean,
I've considered that. That's going to happen at some point.
So I'm, I want to take care of them. So I don't want to just not do anything.
Of course.
Fuck that.
Of course.
Yeah. So, but hopefully it doesn't happen that way.
Yeah. Hopefully, they just die before that needs to happen.
Maybe you do have problems with
I don't
empathy.
know. No, I don't. I love my parents. Actually, speaking of murdering your parents, I don't think I was at the crossroads of where I feel like I would have been mildly justified in killing my mother the other day. I love her, and I do a lot of things for my mother, as she has done for me growing up, obviously.
Which we don't condone.
Murder?
Any of you of the 11 to murder.
No, of course not. But I just want to express that I came. It was one of those come to Jesus moments or come to murder moments where the option was presented to me, and I feel like if I had gone through with the violent crime, that I may have not gone to jail. A jury may have seen me and been like, okay, at worst, manslaughter. And that was, it was yesterday. My mother was in the hospital. She's okay. She's getting back now. But I was at Jamie's, my fiance's place, and she asked me to go pick her up some things from my home, which is like 20-something minutes away. Not a huge deal, right? Mm-hmm. So I go and I get these things, like simple things, like a charger. Okay, that's fine. You need your charger. And then I go home. 2 hours later, she messages me for a couple more things. Super not convenient at this point. I got to go back there and get it. A little annoyed, but it's okay. She needs these things. Shorts and iced tea. And so then I asked her, okay, which hospital are you at? We have Kaiser. So there's two Kaiser hospitals, apparently.
Yeah.
They're not in town. It's Panorama City.
Which is the one that everyone
goes to, and apparently Woodland Hills.
Because it's the biggest thing ever.
Yes, and so she
series
says,
of
I'm in
buildings.
Woodland Hills. So I look it up, I'm like,
Blocks.
there's a Kaiser in Woodland Hills, and there was. I was like, oh. But I said, I'm like, so you're at the Kaiser in Woodland Hills? She said, yes. I said, okay, so I drive there, and there's traffic because we're in LA County. So there's always traffic.
Yeah.
Took me forever.
Which is awful.
Awful. I go in the emergency room. I'm asking around. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. They're like, she's just not here. I'm like, well, can you find her? Because this place is huge.
Yeah.
They say, no, grab that phone and dial the operator. I'm like, that feels like a cop-out. So I go over there, dial the operator. They say maybe on room 1503. I don't even know if it's in the building. It's like, does no one know? So I go into just the tallest building there.
Yeah.
And I start walking around floor 5. And then eventually, after a very long time of walking through this place, I finally found someone who's able to look in the system and say, oh, she's in Panorama City. And I immediately started looking like I needed to be admitted into the mental ward. Because I'm walking around being like, fucking shit, fucking. I'm like kicking at nothing, and people are looking at me because I was just.
Were you just trying to pick her up?
No, I'm trying to drop her off. I have a Ralph's bag full of things. So at the same time, I also think that people think I'm homeless because I'm not dressed very nice. I got done working.
And you have a plastic bag.
I have a plastic bag full of just miscellaneous things that I'm yelling at
sweating.
Ghosts, And so I get in the car, more traffic to get to the hospital. Anyway, so I go in there, and she's like her eyes are like partially open, and she's got her mask halfway over her face. And my first thought is, I'm like, I think I could choke her out with that IV cord. I think I could do that. There's no one in here. No one would know. They'd think it was natural.
Yeah.
But I didn't
I
kill
saw this
her.
in a movie one time.
I didn't kill her, and I thought about it for about a half a second, and then I sat with her and talked to her.
You
for a
can't
long
kill
time.
your audience, dude.
I know she is one of the 11.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
that would be 10.
And then we
Why
couldn't
would you
afford,
do that?
Then all the advertisers would leave.
Yeah, right.
That's almost a 10% drop in clientele. That's huge. You lose a lot of money for
real.
that.
For real. That's like, I don't know, 9-point-something%.
Yeah,
something.
Yeah,
Man.
it's close too. It's close too. No, but yeah. So I do not have it in me to murder my parents.
That's good.
Yeah,
See, and this is about learning about each other.
that's true. It was a learning experience. Yeah.
It's about.
I was
knowing-
pretty sure, but then it wasn't until I was confronted with a situation that I knew for sure.
Yeah. But this is the thing: is you just need that one little extra push.
That's true.
Just
if
a
there was
little-
a third hospital she was at, I would have killed her. But thank God she was at
this is all you got?
Oh, dude.
This isn't what I wanted.
Man. I would just slowly close that soundproof hospital door. Yeah. It would have happened. Just gone over there and pinched her
pillow.
IV cord or something, put some oxygen bubbles in there.
What are you doing? Slowly coming at her with her fucking pillow.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, goes back to our original point of safety. And don't kill your parents. And if somebody's trying to kill your parents, don't let them do that shit.
No, don't let them do that. And
Yeah,
let
don't
them
let
live
that
with you
shit
when they're
happen.
old. But I fully intend on, I'm literally mentally not making any fiscal attempts right now or planning, but I do fully intend on whatever my end of days home is, like the one where I'm like, okay, I don't want to stay in one place, but I'm getting older. I'll be here for a while. I'm going to need some space or enough space to build a side building to where I love my parents.
Yeah.
They're not even going to stay in the same place. So I'm going to need 2 separate little side places on the property somewhere. And I'll make a little lit path to the house where the bathrooms are, in the kitchen.
Wait,
and stuff
what
like
are we
that.
talking about?
And my parents live with me. They're not living in my house. They're not living in the.
So you're going to have a house with 2 other structures on the property.
Yes, I'll need enough land.
with cute little pathways.
Yes, to where they can get to the house if they need to. But I'll try and make those little buildings self-sufficient.
Have a little slot or something. They could put a note in.
Absolutely. Oh, dude, one of those little oxygen vacuum messaging sender things.
Like at a bank.
They might find that fun. To be
I
honest.
fucking love those things.
Yeah.
And if I was your parent, I'd be like, I just love Ryan, and the tubes are so
Yeah,
cool.
that sounds like fun for a minute. And so my dad would never send a tube. Never get a tube.
What do you mean? Like
My
you-
mom's
like-
tube would be full of messages. I just know it in terms of if
Oh,
she was
yeah.
sending things over,
Yeah.
like minor.
Your
always
mom's
very,
tube would break a lot.
It would be there'd be a
You'd
lot
have
of
to
maintenance
fix
on
her
her
tube
too.
all the time.
She's an independent woman, but her requests are so small. Yeah. But you make
You
enough
know,
requests.
older women in the tubes.
Yeah.
Always something happened with the tubes.
Yeah, I will take a once a month request to move a house versus a daily request to grab a drink from the fridge. That's just my feeling. This isn't saying anything about my parents. I'm just saying in general, I am always open to do the big request and do the big move, but the minimal things, I'm just like, no, I don't like that.
No, yeah, like
I got
brushing
enough
your
juice in me
teeth,
for one big. Yeah.
taking a shower, wiping your ass
Or it's like,
fully.
can you grab me something from the table if they're near the table? I find that very annoying. I don't like doing the little things
you are so caught the fuck up in that shit, and I see it on your face and you think, I don't know if you think nobody can see what the fuck your face does.
No, I know. Jamie tells me all the time, he's like, dude, look at your eyes. I'm like, I can't look at my eyes.
because you do this, you do this, you do this. Just like, man. And I'm like, everybody can look at you, motherfucker. What exactly you're thinking is on your face.
Yes.
You might as well have it in words on your face.
But I'm hoping to only share it with you
Yeah.
and Jamie. That's all.
You just got to be more discreet with it. And it's okay to feel that way, Ryan. I think, you're okay.
I guess. I like to feel like misery loves company.
And you have a soul.
I'm not miserable, rarely ever, but when I feel a type of way about a person, I have to find almost like my ground somewhere near me. I need one of my people to make me feel like I'm not crazy. So it's typically you. If I'm with you, it's always you're the person I'm looking towards. Brandon, my other very good friend, who I don't believe listens to this podcast. Or Jamie, who typically is the person to tell me I'm being mean. So she's almost like Brandon will always agree with me. You will say I'm being an asshole. And Jamie just says it's mean, but then she laughs because she always laughs. So at the same
She's
time,
only going to tolerate so much of it.
I don't know. I think that just means that
That's
she
what
agrees
that means.
and she doesn't want to.
It means she doesn't want to start shit.
Yeah.
But I think that what that means is like, okay, this is going to get to here, and then it's going to be a motherfucking problem.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
So,
true. I've gotten better.
You got to ask her. Be like, how does it make you feel that I just said that?
I don't think she necessarily cares. We had a whole conversation about this on a hike once because it was just after a party think I was with her, but I was referencing back to something I had just done with you, where I was like, dude, you see this guy? You see them? Come on, am I crazy or are they're annoying? You know, if someone's annoying to me, I need to see if anyone else agrees with me. But Jamie's like, yeah, then you're talking bad about someone. I'm like, yeah, but they suck. But then that's mean. And so we had a conversation about it, and it's like, I wasn't wrong, is what she was saying. Like, I was right, but there's no reason to seek out agreement from a friend to then, because that person has no idea what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
At no point is their night ruined by me internally and partially externally, because I'm getting someone on board, to jointly not like a person who's very not likable, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Their night's not ruined. They're oblivious to it, and it'll never affect them because I will never see them again. But someone's like yelling at cars driving by. It's basically what I do. But it's not a good thing to do, and so I've gotten better. I'm not doing it as much anymore.
That's good.
Thank you.
That's good. Good, Ryan.
Good for me.
Yeah. No, yeah, like I was just trying to say earlier, you have a soul. You have empathy. You care about people.
I do.
You love all of the 11 people. All of them.
I do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just know
Even though that he was just talked about murking one of them. It happened to be his own mother.
It almost was. It's true. It's true.
Well, I don't know how long that is, but it's been 1,885 bars.
I don't even know what that means. Is that
a lot of motherfuckers? Talk about 16 bars. Bro, we just spat 1,889.
I don't even know what that means. Let me ask you a couple more things. I want to know if you've seen any. What's the last movie you watched?
Oh, shit. Oh, did you see Loki, bro? That was good.
That show dropped? Oh, that show dropped like yesterday, didn't it?
It's very good.
Did you just binge that whole show?
No, it's just one episode.
Oh, they're doing
Drip
that?
feeding,
Okay.
yeah.
That's, isn't that funny how things change? How forever it was, weekly shows.
Yeah.
And then Netflix came, and boom, we're dropping the entire show at a time. Everyone's back into weekly.
Here's the thing. They don't want everybody to just get the free for a week thing, watch the show, and then drop it.
Honestly, I don't mind it. I do, even when I've had shows that you can binge, I don't typically binge. I don't sit down, except for maybe when I got back from Arizona when I was 21 and I had no job and I had literally nothing to do. I was binging shows.
Mm-hmm.
Or a little bit during parts of COVID, I was doing that. But typically, I don't like to sit there and watch a show for 9 hours, 10 hours.
Yeah.
I'll break it up like one episode, maybe two a night.
It gets a little. I remember the first thing I binged was The Sopranos, which I recommend everybody go out and binge that show because
I pretty
it's the
much
best.
binged it. I watched it whenever I had free time, basically. Like, whenever I had free time, I would watch it. That's what I was doing.
And I remember it was all the way up until the last season. So we binged all the other seasons, and then the last season came out. And I remember like the last season, I think it was like a half season or something like that, season 6. But yeah, that's what the fuck we were talking about.
Well, I was saying how now they're reverting back to episodes a week. That Prime does that.
Oh yeah.
Disney does that, and I do like it because for me it gives me something to look for. I get to set evenings around a thing. So with Mandalorian, a couple friends of mine, we would get together every week to watch Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And when you have a show that you're binging, you're just not doing that. When Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, these are shows that I had a day every week where I was meeting up with whoever I was watching it with, and we'd make a night of it.
Yep.
And when you're binging, maybe you could. I guess you could still do that.
I'm very much a fan of that model too. I
Yeah.
mean, because that's what I kind of grew up on. Was you wait for the next episode?
Like, where's the anticipation?
But at the same time, I like it when they just drop a whole season.
Yeah.
Like I like when they do like the 3-episode burst. Like that's what I'm a fan of that.
Well, I will
'Cause,
say
like,
this:
you get the best of both worlds. It's like, okay, this just came out. Do you want to go 3 hours in?
Yeah.
Or you could just do an hour.
Yeah.
I
Well,
like that.
So, I could 100% understand the benefits of it, right? So, like, I obviously watched Game of Thrones as it was released over the 7 years, 6 years, 7, 8 years, 8, whatever it was.
Lots
And
of
so,
years.
Obviously by the 7th, 8th year, you're forgetting details. From the first 3, 4, 5, who knows? And so during COVID, technically it's still going on. So, but
We're still in the middle of COVID.
Sort of, kind of. Not in the middle.
This will be released sometime after COVID. When
Yeah.
everything's better.
But I just went back and rewatched the whole show. It took me a while because I wasn't really binging it. But like if I wasn't doing anything, I'd watch a couple episodes. I'd watch it on my phone when I was doing nothing. And I'm like, wow, when you watch something like that from start to finish at a pretty decent pace, as quickly as you're capable of with the job and working and doing stuff, it's like the story paces so well because you remember shit because you just watched it. You know, you just watched 3 seasons ago, 2 weeks ago, rather than 6 years ago. So, and it makes you appreciate a show like that more.
It really does.
Because you see how they're connecting strings from season 2 to season 5. Where you're watching it, there's a lot of shit that I just didn't connect when I was watching it, you know, as it was coming out initially.
I like doing that because I did that with The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I watched the first season, like before the second season. So it's just kind of nice to, you know, just be fresh and hip to everything when the new thing comes out. You know,
I've thought about doing that with books. Like I read a lot of fantasy books. And some of these books now, you know, it's years between when they came out. So I'm reading a book. It's Brandon Sanderson. He writes a lot of books, but I'm talking the books are like 1,300 pages long. They're humongous.
Yeah.
And I'm reading the 4th book in this new Stormlight Archive series, and the last one came out 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And I've read a lot of shit between then, and you know the swords and the people and the magic starts kind of blending together. And I'm reading this book, and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on. I don't remember where they are. I don't remember why they're mad at each other. So I spent
so it's like it's just kind of picking right up where it left off.
Yeah, and I have no memory. I know the characters' names, and that's it. And some of them I forgot. So I had to go on some basic nerd Wikipedia and read the backgrounds of these characters for like hours to try. And I still don't really know exactly what's going on. It's been 600 pages, and I finally am like, you know what? It doesn't really matter that I remember the backstory. They fill me enough in throughout the pace of the book to where it's kind of like watching the 3rd movie in a series to where you're like, you're kind of lost, but they give you enough to where you can still watch it and enjoy it. That's basically what's happening to me.
My thing with that is it's like if you come out with just like a band, right? It's like Black Sabbath, man. It's like Black Sabbath's first record, really fucking good. But, you know, once you got to Never Say Die, it was just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Okay? You guys are just doing a bunch of cocaine. You know, you hear the fucking drummer, you know, Mr. Bill Ward fucking saying he can't even remember recording the fucking album, you know. So I think it's the same with the books. It's like, you know, I think they made money with the first 2 or 3 and then they maybe tried to do something else and it didn't do that well. So what do? Well, I'm going to go back to the thing that made me the money.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So you get a bunch of really desperate, you know, maybe scatterbrained writing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, when you were talking about you rewatched the first season of Mandalorian before you watched the second, it's like...
Yeah, because the publishers be like, okay, so we want to sign you for a 35-book deal.
God, kiss my ass.
Yeah,
35 million. Oh, yes, please.
And it's going to be for $20,000, and you're going to be, you know, if you're hungry enough.
Yeah. But then again, like you want to rewatch a show, I mean, you know exactly how long that's going to take you. If I'm going to reread a 1,200-page book,
that's crazy.
That's going to take a while.
That's crazy.
And so, you know, I'm just like, am I really willing to do that? One of, you know, our very good friend Lance, there's one of our favorite book series ever that we're waiting for the 3rd book to drop, and it's been about 5 years. And I do not remember enough details to jump right into the 3rd book that I've been waiting 5 years on. I'm like, I'm going to have to spend a couple months reading through the first 2 books again.
So what we're saying is we would prefer the warm porridge. So, you know, just like Tool's last album, okay? It was like, you know, 29 billion fucking years between albums.
Yeah.
And it's just like, come on,
was it worth the wait?
I mean, I really liked the album. I mean, I really liked it. But it was just like, come on. Maybe that's a bad analogy.
No, maybe not. Do you... No, I don't think that necessarily is. The problem with this particular writer,
but where we want it is you should like a year, 2 years. You know, I guess a book 3 years.
I take it back. That's not a good example because there's that album isn't a direct, you know.
Yeah, we're not following up a story here.
No.
So, no, it is not akin.
No, but it is in terms of, like, if you want to...
I just wanted to bring that up. It's
kind of like when they come out with sequels to movies that were huge, but you waited way too long, and now people don't care.
Yeah.
Or the only people that care are the only people that care? The hardcore fans. You know what they always do? Disappoint the hardcore fans because they do a shit job of it. You know, I know I didn't see... every time I see these sequels coming out, they look like trash. Dumb and Dumber 2. Not Dumb and Dumber or Dumb and Dumber 2, right? Isn't that what it's called? What was the one with actually the original cast in the second one? Was that Dumb and Dumber?
Dumber.
Because there was the one with like them when they were younger,
Yeah.
right? So that's completely separate. But then they had the actual sequel.
Yeah.
Whatever that one is, I don't know a single person who liked it. Zoolander 2, did you see that?
I loved both of those.
You're
movies.
ridiculous. Kyle, I want everyone to know, if
Go
there's
ahead.
ever a point we're going to talk about movies, Kyle will always like it. Whatever it is, he liked it. Because Kyle watches movies high, and I don't know if that's why.
I'm a fan of those stupid stories, and I'm just happy to enjoy another one of them.
I wish
I'm
I
not
could enjoy
watching Zoolander to be like, I don't know, to like it's a fine fucking wine. I just want like a goddamn like the champagne of beers, man. I want like the High Life or something.
I get what you're saying, and honestly, I wish. You know, for me, my least favorite genre is comedy. Well, besides musicals, I don't like musicals. Comedy, and I love some of my favorite movies are comedies. But I just, for whatever reason, most comedies I don't like because I just find them like they just.
You think you're above them?
No, they're stupid. They just do.
You
they're
think
not
you're above
funny.
them?
They just they make it's like loud noises, farts. Because like, all right, so you can get stupid. I've always thought it was like Dumb and Dumber. You're like, oh, that's a stupid comedy. It's not a stupid comedy. Watch Dumb and Dumber. You cannot show that to someone. It's all like all the jokes are references to things that you have to understand the reference to understand why it's funny. It's not like the
Samsonite one.
Yeah, like that. Like that is not a blatantly loud funny joke.
So
It's
let
funny
me tell you
because
how
you have to
confused I was as a child.
Of course, as a kid, you don't get it at
I
all.
had no, what's Samsonite?
You only get it when
I'm
you're
like
older.
Samsonite. I'm like ha 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 ha. Ha, 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 ha. I love that joke. Seems really smart and funny. I mean, like, and then you like, go to Ross, and you look at the luggage. You're like, oh, hold on.
Oh, that's why. No, it's true. No, as a kid, everything's funny when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Everything was funny to me as a kid. But I'm saying now.
Yeah.
Like now, it's not that I needed to be necessarily a smart comedy, but like, just some of them they're coming out. They just say really stupid shit, and they just want you to think it's funny. And I just don't find it funny unless it's clever. I need it to be clever for me to laugh.
No, I'm on board with
And
that.
I'd rather it be easier for me to laugh.
But for me, it's just like, does it have to be that clever? I can just be entertained. I can watch just something that's mildly good and be entertained and just
no, yeah.
that was fine. Like it's like watching fucking any like fucking TV show or like sitcom.
I don't do most like Seinfeld. I find funny, but I don't think it's hysterical. I'm not gonna laugh out loud during Seinfeld, but
Yeah,
I
it's every
find
once in a
it
while.
funny. Mel Brooks to me, like his movies are the dumbest comedies I like, but they're
Dick and
funny.
fart jokes.
Yeah, but they're so funny. And they have an entire scene of farts.
I didn't want to deduce Mel Brooks to Dick and fart jokes.
He's
He's more than
he's
more
and
than
vagina
Dick.
jokes. Yeah. But like you know what director I'm assuming also writer who I like almost every movie he does is Judd Apatow. Whatever you would call that type of comedy, every one of them like those always get me every time.
That's why they were popular. They're funny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like like the Will Ferrell movies. I mean, there's some that are just fucking shit.
Yeah.
But
then you have Step Brothers.
But
And Step
they
Brothers is
have-
one of my favorite comedies ever.
But there's little gems in there. There's little funny gems in there, and
Yeah.
not everything's going to be Talladega Nights and fucking.
See,
Step
I don't
Brothers.
get Talladega Nights. Oh, God. That to me is him. He's being an idiot the entire time.
Oh.
I know I'm on an island. Trust me. I know I'm on an island. Most people I know like that movie. And even Anchorman, there's parts of the first Anchorman I enjoyed, but I heard the second Anchorman. What, it came out like 15 years after the first one?
Yeah, but
They
it's
waited
not
too
only
long.
is it comedy, it's especially that movie that touched on nostalgia, and just fanfare.
Mm-hmm.
People wanted to fucking hear the shit that they bought the goddamn T-shirt of the first movie.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I think that they did.
So there is, and I like that. I love fanfare. do it.
I like fanfare too. People shit on some of the new Star Wars. There's not necessarily all of them, but like you get a lot. You know, people said Rogue One was basically just all fanfare, and like that was like my favorite of all the new Star Wars movies that have come out has been Rogue One. And
it was just an interesting story. You got likable characters.
Yeah,
it was,
and I felt like there was actual risk involved in everything. I mean, hence they all died. The
thing
risk.
is, it's like you say Daisy Ridley's whatever the character was, something
Daisy Ridley.
Yeah. But I just didn't care that much about the character.
No.
I didn't feel like the story was told that well enough for me to really get that much involved with that character.
Well, I mean, I honestly think the new Star Wars.
And they had 3 movies.
Yeah, 3 of them. And you know why? Honestly, probably the main reason I didn't like them, like again with the whole comedic thing. First off, whoever what is it? Ryan something wrote the second Star Wars. They wrote all these are millionaires.
I'm just pulling out of my ass. Coogler. Ryan
Oh,
Coogler.
no.
Is that it?
No.
It's way off. Is that a person?
Ryan Johnson is his name. You get these people, they're multimillionaires. They write movies for a living. I'm sure they can tell a joke. I'm sure they can be funny sometimes. But then these movies, they're constantly dropping jokes. None of them land. None of them are funny. And I'm like, not know your audience because they say it's towards kids, but then the entire movie is about genocide. There's literally planets of people being destroyed, murder happening everywhere, people dying. You see her father figure, who she known for an hour, die. But then they cannot leave any gap of time without jokes. Like, this should not be a comedy. I understand. Rogue One, they put in the comedic robot in post-production. I get it.
It's Disney, and they have demographics, and that's why they make all the money.
Yeah.
Is they have to have a complex adult story and have that intertwined to make it appealing also for your younger base. So we want to appeal to the older Star Wars fans. Well, they try to.
I guess.
I don't know. I don't know what they did with those movies. So I don't think it really, other than, we have literally the same characters coming back.
Yeah.
But even that just didn't feel like, I didn't feel that much connected to Han Solo's fucking character as I did when I watched
I felt like
the movies when I was younger.
It's because they, he probably was like $20 million. You got me for 4 days.
The new Han Solo movie. I like that one.
I did too. The only things I didn't like was, and again, I did like it. I liked it more than I liked the trilogy. Maybe the first of the trilogy, the new one I liked more, but I liked, it was so dark. Literally, not tone-wise. I mean, literally, like, the editing of it, they had put, like, a dark filter. I couldn't see shit for half that movie. In the theater, it's fine because you're in a pitch-black theater. I tried watching that at home recently.
It's like
I couldn't see anything.
I remember Alien versus Predator, like...
This number 2.
Yeah.
You couldn't see anything in the movie.
Yeah. It's like... I'm like, I just kind of like see a purple shadow, like,
yeah, I don't understand it.
Why do you do that?
I have no idea because they're like, well, we couldn't write emotion into the film.
It's like,
so
we had a
$20,000
budget. We just figured we just kind of fake it. Man.
Yeah,
I'll see something in the bushes.
Oh God, that's so funny. Honestly, to me, that was like, all right. Did you watch Mulan, the live action? You loved it.
I liked it.
You're ridiculous. God, I can't believe you.
What?
That's a movie that took me first. I started watching it on airplane.
What's fucking matter? It's not.
It sucked.
Why?
It sucked ass.
Why? Why'd you hate it so much?
Dude, first off, the entire movie, no one talks like that. I understand it's a fantasy world, but these are humans, right? This is an alien race of people. They're having. It was one of those movies like they couldn't write in emotion through the storytelling. What they'd have to do is
would tell
a joke.
It's close to what the original thing would be?
No, I think it was completely different. It didn't feel.
Did you watch them back to back?
I had honestly
When's
seen
the last
cartoon
time?
Pretty recently with Jamie, probably a couple months before I had seen started my first attempt at watching the live action movie. So the thing with that they had a comedic character. Or like 2. They had, Eddie Murphy, who's brilliant, right, playing the dragon. So they would get to focus in the hilarity on that character. And then a couple of the side goofy characters, the 3 soldiers, the fat one, the short, stubby one, the skinny one. Those are the comedic characters. And then you had Mulan, who was just, had pure goodness, and she was doing the, selfishness for the family. And then you had the soldier guy. But, like, first off, that chick could not act
she
to
did
save
it
her
because she
life.
didn't want it. But she wanted to do it because she didn't want to marry some man and do what all the other women.
I know.
were
I
doing.
like this. I like the storyline. I like the idea of it. I knew that movie.
She was
was gonna
very
be,
much rebelling.
and that's completely fine. This is just a theory of mine. First off, she could not act at all. Her acting was so cringeworthy. But I think.
Oh,
what
you
it
know
was,
what? I think I saw that. I shit you not.
What?
I think I saw that motherfucking person. I thought for a second today.
In person?
Yeah,
You didn't. You just saw a
At
random Asian
Glendale.
girl and thought that was her.
No, because there was identical, just things that I remembered about her
Maybe
face.
it was her.
And I was just like, "Is that?" I just thought it to myself real fast.
Yeah.
This is and you brought it up.
Well, maybe it was
and that
her.
happened today.
Well, that's.
I was like,
What are the odds? And so you actually had that thought earlier. Is that a
Yeah.
chick from Mulan?
Yeah, there's a large Asian population here. It's not like I'm just like
No, I know it's true. Yeah.
Not being racist.
No, I'm not saying it's racist. Jamie says that all white people look alike. Not to call her out, but I just called her out.
You just said it.
I did.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
That was a private conversation. Put her on blast.
Well, I did. I don't know.
Going down to 10, baby.
Yeah.
Look how many.
Look at all those tickers. We don't have a clock on the screen because we easily could have looked at the clock and then started and then seen the clock, but we've done it's literally the tickers of what, sound? Is that what that is? It's on the mixing board.
Yeah, I gotta. Here we go. 2.5 hours.
We have not been doing this for 2.5 hours.
Yeah. Yes, we actually probably been doing it for 2 hours, legitimately,
Oh.
because we were shooting shit for about 20-something minutes.
Oh, all right. Well, then maybe we'll save this for another day. My thought is maybe next time, again, we just shoot the shit. But I think it'd be interesting next time we go and look at the top trending stories going on, just in general,
I think that's a good idea.
and see if we can't give our very broken and lost. Let's get lost in our insight. At the
and I was getting
trending
totally stoned this whole time.
issues. Yeah,
And
bourbon for me, weed for him.
yeah,
That's
I
probably how
really
it's gonna
enjoyed
go.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I hope everyone
nice
enjoyed it.
talking
If you have a heart, leave a comment. You have to give us 5 stars because anything less is just mean. It's just mean.
one of the 11 people.
Yeah, I want all.
It would
11
be
reviews.
funny. It's
There's
like,
there's
you'd
a
be like,
couple
I got
out there.
3.5. You're
No,
like,
there's a couple out there, and so you don't just like it, comments on it.
that would be your mom.
Mom, please, will you do that for us?
Mom's giving you.
It goes a
1.5
long way.
stars.
That's how we're paying our rent with the advertising money from this podcast. So have a heart and keep food on our table. And we'll be back here hopefully next week.
Yeah. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.